Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Monthly favorites video. Today we are talking about the things that I love the most during the month of July. I almost just said during the month of August. I think that's wishful thinking. I'm wishing summer was over. It's not quite yet. So I have a pretty small stash here today, which I'm very proud of myself for. Normally I tend to overwhelm you guys with too many favorites, but I really narrowed things down this month. There's quite a few things that I'm still testing that I need a little bit more time with. These are the things that impressed me the very most this month. So let's get right into it. Before we do, special welcome to any of you that are new to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please consider subscribing before you leave. Also make sure notification bell is turned on. But now let's jump right into the makeup. Let's start with a thing that I'm very surprised that I'm mentioning in a favorites video, and I'm kind of ultra excited about this one. In fact, I think I tried these out right after, like just within a few days after the last favorites video that I filmed, and I almost wanted to turn around and film another one because I was so excited about these. I'm talking about a pair of eyelashes. It is these ones right here. They are from Eyeshadow. I found these at a Marshall's. I don't know how easy it is to find these. I think when I was looking online, I maybe found them on Amazon. If I can find them, I'll link them for you guys down below, but they're the Eyeshadow and Emma Willis Trixa lashes. They are not full sets of lashes. So you get two in here. You get a quarter lash and a 3/4 lash. So these ones I haven't opened yet, but I have another one that I've been wearing this month, and I particularly love the quarter lash. So I did just try out I think at the beginning of last week, the 3/4 lash. Did not work for me. Most of that might have just been user error. I have a very difficult time with lashes in general. I have a hard time applying them. They're uncomfortable on me, and I just don't think they typically, like a full set of lashes, really look that good on me. And these ones I struggled with as well. I mean, these were almost as long. I have very small eyes, so these ones, even though they're supposed to be 3/4, I still felt like were a little bit long. They were really encroaching in towards that inner corner, which is where I always have a hard time. So what I did is I actually trimmed these down for me from the inside. So I really love this outside corner. I know that they say, don't they say? I guess I'm not a lash expert, so maybe I'm quoting this all wrong, but I think that you're supposed to cut the lashes from the outside corner and not the inside corner, but not with these, because I actually like the little flare on the outside corner of both of these sets of lashes. So I have been wearing these ones over this last week. I'm actually wearing them today, and I think I've trimmed about half of that amount off. So they basically are the same size as the ones down here. I actually don't think they flare quite as much as the quarter lash, but I love both of these. You guys, I'm obsessed with this way of wearing a lash. It's so easy. It looks really good on my eyes. It just gives me that little added like flare to my lashes at the corner, which I think is just perfect for adding a little something special to my eyes without overwhelming them. But they're also easy to apply and not uncomfortable, which is kind of like the selling point for me, the major selling point for me. Just after I tried these, I got so obsessed with them that I went into all of the lashes that I have. I don't have a ton, but I have quite a few from Alter Ego. I think I had a couple left over of like some Kiss lashes that I just had floating around. But I tried doing the same thing with those and just cutting those down and seeing if they would work. None of them quite worked as well as these ones. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend like cutting a regular pair of lash down to this size. It may not look right. There's just something about like the layout of these lashes, or the way the lashes are spaced out and feathered, that they really blend into your natural lashes, which I didn't find that to work with the other lashes that I tried. If you're someone that maybe has wanted to wear false lashes, but you feel like they don't look good on you, or you can't get them to work, or they're too uncomfortable, maybe try going this route, because I've been so impressed with how well they work, how good they look, how easy they are to apply, and how comfortable they are. All right, let's move on. So last month I did a video where I tried out 3 bronzers in one video, and to be honest, I have really been loving them all. I've had them for about 3 weeks now. I've been using them constantly in an effort to try and get to know the differences between them all. I forced myself to narrow it down to 2 today, but just know that all 3 I think are really, really good. But the 2 I want to specifically talk about today are the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. This one's in the shade Light Medium, and the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer. Again, really like the NARS one as well, but there's just something special about these 2 that I like a little bit better, but they're very, very different. So let's talk about first the Makeup by Mario one. I did just use this in a video that I just posted a couple of days ago, I believe. And what I have noticed, I even noticed it while editing that video, is this one, while it is very buttery, very creamy, which I do kind of love that, the problem with this type of a formula is if you have a lot to cover. So if you have discoloration on your cheeks, or maybe a breakout that you want to keep concealed, I do find that this tends to take off the concealer or the coverage underneath, which definitely can be a problem. I do have quite a bit to cover on my cheeks, particularly on this side. I have a spot right here. Probably not seeing it right now because I'm not actually wearing this one. I'm wearing the other one, which tends to do a better job at keeping things covered. But that said, there are some things I really love about this one. I love the color of it. I love how hydrating it is. It's very, very, very buttery feeling, but it's not greasy feeling on the skin. It just is a really pretty finish if you don't need that extra coverage. Now you could probably go back and try and add some coverage back on afterwards. That's kind of a tricky thing to do. You can't just use your regular concealer, otherwise you'll have like a little white spot. That is if you have like a spot in the middle of your cheek like I do, but it's just something to be aware of. I definitely notice that this one tends to eat away at some of that coverage from your foundation or your concealer underneath. So again, if you have a lot to cover, maybe be a little bit more cautious with this one, or maybe you might like the next one, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer. I have the shade Fair. This is the one that I am wearing on my skin today. This one does a much better job at maintaining the coverage. In fact, I almost feel like this one adds coverage to your skin. Somehow it's almost like I said this in the video, like it has a makeup-y kind of finish, which sounds very odd and kind of like something most people would not want, but it gives you something extra to your skin. Now this one is not as like buttery feeling. It's a little bit more kind of like a satiny, like creamy matte sort of finish. It's very, very interesting. Let me just swatch these two in case you missed that video. So here's the Charlotte Tilbury one. I think shade-wise, these are somewhat similar to each other in shade. I think the Makeup by Mario one has a bit more rosiness to it, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury one has a bit more of like an ashy undertone, but it's not ashy. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like it sculpts a little bit better than the Makeup by Mario one, which I think with these swatches, this one looks cooler toned, but somehow on my skin, the Makeup by Mario one really brings out like a pretty rosiness in my skin, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury one's just a good staple bronze. It's just a really good bronze shade for those that have fair skin. It's super pricey, but you do get a ton of product in here. In fact, I think this one, as I mentioned in the video that I did on these bronzers, I think this one has about 4 or 5 times the amount of product that this one right here has. As far as wear time, I do think the Charlotte Tilbury one wears a lot better. This one does not last all day long. It might last a lot better if you top this with either like a translucent powder or with a powder bronzer. I haven't actually tried that yet, so I find this one to be better for days where I'm like not going to be spending all day out in the heat, or days where I just don't have a really long day. But limiting myself to just 2, these are the 2 that I think were extra special. Let's move on to a lip combination. This is the lip combination that I'm wearing today. I've had both of these products for a very long time though, but really I think the standout of this combination is this lip liner right here. This is from Juvia's Place. This is the lip liner in the shade Lush. There is something about the shade of this lip liner that I just think is absolutely perfect. It's such a good color for me. It's moderately deep without being too deep. I know it does look quite deep there, but I use this pretty light-handedly. It also has the perfect undertone. It's kind of pink, but it's not overly pink where it goes like really bright on my lips. It's just a really pretty medium nude color that looks so pretty with lighter color products on top. I love this. It's not the most long wearing lip liner. It's very, very creamy. Normally I don't love overly creamy lip liners. This is one of the creamier lip liners that I own, but I give this one a pass because I just love how it looks on my lips, even though it's not long wearing. I don't mind reapplying. It's actually pretty easy to reapply. So I'm wearing that today, and then on top of it, I have a product I know you guys have heard me talk about a billion times. It is the Hard Candy Plumping Serum Lip Balm in the shade Bountiful Bear. This is just a light kind of sheer pink. So I wear these all the time, almost exclusively for the last couple months. I think it's just the summer. They're easy to travel with. I like having these in my purse because they're larger than most of my other lip products. I can, when I'm just feeling around, if I'm like driving or if I'm just not wanting to actually like look in and dig through my purse, I can fish this thing out really quickly. I just reach for it all the time. And I had it on just a couple weeks ago, this combination, as I was driving in the car and I looked in my little rearview mirror. Do you ever have these like moments where you look in your rearview mirror and it really tells you like what's working for you or what's maybe not working for you? It's like the perfect mirror because the lighting's always really good. So it's like the mirror of truth. It will always tell you like what's doing you favors and maybe what's not. So I bring that up because I looked in my mirror and I was like, my lips looked extra just nice. Like they looked plump, they looked very well shaped, the color was perfect, they had just the subtlest amount of glossiness. They just looked really healthy and kind of young, which I'm all about something that's gonna make my lips look a little bit younger because I'm 41 years old now. I've never had larger plump lips, period, but especially now that I'm in my 40s, I find that my lips are one of those areas of my face that I just am like, ugh, darn it. Needless to say, I don't look in the mirror and think those positive thoughts about my lips very often. So this was a combination that really stood out to me. It's all I've been wearing ever since. And it's super affordable. This you can get at Ulta. This you can get at any Walmart. Okay, moving along. We've got just a couple more things. I have just 3 more things to share with you guys. Starting with a little eyeshadow quad. So I tried out several of these Hard Candy monochrome shadow quads towards the beginning of the month. I've got to be honest, guys, I've tried them all now and they've all disappointed me except for this one. So this one right here is the Bare palette. It's the the most just basic, kind of boring looking nude palette, but this one really has impressed me. The formulas in this one are really, really good. Not all of the formulas in the other ones, both the shimmers and the mattes, I felt were great, but this one is something very, very special. I love the combination of shadows in here. In fact, this is a dupe for something much more high-end that I have plans to come back and do a dupe video for you guys, but it's just very, very impressive. If you are someone that likes very basic neutral looks, I think you would love this little palette. So let me just give them all a little swatch for you guys on the back of my hand. So all of, oh boy. So here they are right there. I know that matte's not showing up that great, but it's a really nice matte if you have like light to fair skin. Really pretty palette for a simple look. This is such a beautiful kind of bronzy, slightly rosy bronze, kind of like rose gold almost type of shade. It's so flattering on the eyes. This is a really pretty champagne that's not quite as metallic, but has a really nice kind of icy undertone to it that's really brightening on your eyes. It's just a really pretty little palette for $4 if you're looking for something really simple, maybe travel friendly, that's not going to be too expensive or take up too much space. This has been really impressive to me. And then I have a couple products from Sydney Grace. This one right here is one of their cream shadows. This came in the red mystery bag, I believe the light version. This is the cream shadow in the shade Stolen Kiss. So this is what I'm wearing on my eyelids today. So that's what you're seeing just on the center of my lid. It's this beautiful kind of like mid to light shell pink with kind of like a gold iridescence in it. It is so, so pretty. These are such great products. They're so easy to wear. They give you this really pretty like sparkle and reflection with none of it falling out on your face throughout the day. I love them. I don't reach for individual eye products super often, with the exception of a handful of things, and these are one of those handful of things. I'm excited to have a new shade. But I also have a favorite palette to share with you guys from Sydney Grace. This is the California Coast palette in the light version. I've only had this for about a week and a half, but I have been having a hard time putting this down because it is such a pretty pink toned neutral palette, but you get like warm pinks and then cool pinks in here. So you can do like a cooler toned pink eye, kind of veering towards that like purple side without being overly purple, or more of like a warm kind of blushy tone pink. This actually reminds me of the type of looks that I get out of two of my favorite ColourPop palettes, the Blush Crush palette and the Making Mauves. Like if those two palettes had a baby, I feel like it would be this palette right here. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the Sydney Grace metallics and their mattes. They're fantastic. They perform so well. So I am wearing this palette today, just kind of here up through the crease. I have this shade, then I have this dark kind of red toned brown, just kind of smudged along this lash line and very slightly pulled up into the crease. This is one of those palettes that you can reach for, dip your brush into just about anything, and your looks can look really well put together. It's gorgeous. I've loved every look that I've gotten out of it so far. So if you happen to be on the Sydney Grace website, maybe you want to get in on one of their sales or add enough to your cart so you qualify for free shipping. If you're into pinks, this is one that I would recommend. By the way, I will link the video that I did where I tried out this palette, and I swatched both this one and the deep version. So if you want to see the difference between those two, I did do swatch comparisons in that video, or you can go on the Sydney Grace website. I think they have things swatched on there as well. All right, guys, that is it. Those are all the things that I love during the month of July. Anyone else glad that August is finally going to be here? 1 month closer to a little bit of relief from the heat. I'm also really excited for the kids to go back to school. Don't get me wrong, I love summer. I love having the kids home for summer. But by the time August gets here, I feel like everyone's ready for a bit of like normalcy in the schedule, you know, like kids going to bed before 10:30 at night. So here's to a very happy August for us all. I have some fun things planned here on my channel, so let that be a reminder. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing that before you leave. But that is going to do it for now. Thank you guys again. Hope you are all doing well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. And forgive the hair. My hair is so bushy today. So they discontinued my favorite mousse at Sally Beauty Supply. I'm on the hunt to find a new mousse. I've been trying out a couple recently and not having great success.